Hello and welcome to another CAD clip on AutoCAD 2007 3D, and we're going to talk about the slice command similar to our section plane command that we did in an earlier lesson. Section plane is different in that it retains the part that's being sectioned off, and then if you erase the section plane, the removed part that is being sectioned away comes back. So slicing really slices it in half into two parts, and you can retain one or the other. So the slice, similar to the section plane, but section plane retains the full model and has a lot more options once it's created, as in slice is a one-time operation where you slice it and that's it. You can't go back and remove the slice or unslice it. It's just a command that alters the objects permanently, whereas section plane does not necessarily do permanent change to the objects. So one example of slicing, we've got our gear that we made in an earlier lesson here. We can look at that in 3D and, change our view, etc. I've just got some objects predetermined using my visual styles here. I'll go back to the top view. So we'll start with our slice command here off of our dashboard, and then the quickest way to use slice really is to select the objects, enter, and then without using your snap or with your snap is to basically draw a line, and I'll just get sloppy, enter, and then it keeps both sides. Then I can move this piece away if I want. I can go back and look at that in 3D, and I've really just kind of sliced that. Okay, I'm going to undo. Do that one more time. Slice a couple of times. Okay, pick my object, enter. Okay, and then I'm going to say even pick a midpoint of here to the midpoint of there, and it's going to ask me select a point on desired side to keep. I want to keep this side. Slices that over. Then we've got that. Okay, easiest way to do the slice command. Undo it back. Okay, maybe I want to slice through here. Slice. These are all one objects just to make sure. Pick a point from here to here, and then pick this side to keep, and then it slices that. Okay, probably the easiest way to use the slice command. We also have some options when we go in and slice and we pick an object, for instance, enter. We can slice by the XY plane or the XZ or the ZX plane of your UCS, and I encourage you to go back as a prerequisite for a lot of this 3D, specifically the slicing command, and have a look at our AutoCAD 2006 3D lessons. We go into great detail about a lot of these commands that are in here that I'm just going to skim over because I really don't want to do the lesson twice if I've already done it and it really hasn't changed. So the other one that we're going to try is the object one, which is a little bit tricky, and you've got to know a little bit about your UCS to have that one work. So the interesting thing is a lot of times what I did initially was to, for instance, draw a line that might go from here, or a polyline, because you can use an object to slice. And I thought I could draw an L like that and then go slice. Pick this, enter, use the O for object and pick this, and then try to select a side, and it won't work. It'll error out on you, or it'll give you unexpected results. You have to realize the cutting plane, when you use object, the object option of slicing, the cutting plane is the plane that this polyline was drawn on, not projecting off of the plane, but the plane. So in other words, the cutting plane of this polyline is the surface that it was drawn on down here, which would slice it in half the other direction. And to my understanding, I have not been able to figure out how to use the slice command to basically remove that section, at least with the slice command. So what I've done is just combine a couple of different things to achieve that. What I'm going to do is this. I'm going to take my slice, click here to get a quarter section is what I'm going to try to do. enter, and I'm going to say, okay, from here down to here, and then I'm going to retain both by hitting an enter. Okay, escape. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get tricky and rotate this one about this by, you know, this much for 90 degrees, and then I'm going to union these two pieces back together, and then I've got my quarter section that way. So that's how I achieve that myself. Okay, one way of getting around, a little bit of a workaround on that one. Okay, now the other thing is to just use, you know, move your UCS and start to use this slice command here, enter, and using some of these, again, repeated exercise from our AutoCAD 2006 3D lessons where we go over all of these. Okay, so we can also use S for surface, and then maybe pick that as a surface. Oh, that's not a surface, that's a solid. So that's about all I wanted to do for now on the slice command. Oh, I wanted to slice up a sphere, so let's try that. Okay, back to the top. The quickest way, again, just to slice and dice is, a good example is I'm going to draw a sphere over here. Okay, and I might even look from the front view just to have a different angle. Doesn't really matter. Okay, and then slicing here, enter, pick, pick, enter, enter, pick, enter, click, click, enter, enter, click, enter, click, click, enter. Then we could just take this, for instance, start to move this aside. Okay, maybe go back and look at that in our 3D view, just as an example of what the quickest way to use the slice command. Okay, and then we can go in if we wanted, take these, because we cannot use our, if we go to our solid editing, we cannot use our color faces to color the face of a sphere shape. Oh, yes, we can. I didn't realize we could do that. Okay, just learned something right there. Color face, pick on here, enter, pick a color, works. Okay, usually what I do is I take the whole solid mass object and go in here, for instance, and then pick a color off of there instead. So you can change the colors of those objects by surfaces, etc., which is what I did here and over here. So get a little bit creative. Have a look at our previous AutoCAD 2006 training videos for more detailed information on the slice command. In fact, I think we will do a quick demo of using the object as a slicing plane. So let's try that right now. So let's draw a circle. I'm going to draw a circle. I'm going to go up to my top view here, and then I'm going to use a circle, and I'm going to draw a circle, not using my object, snap. Draw that circle out like that. Okay, and then I'm going to go to my front view. Okay, and then maybe I'm going to take that circle and move it down a little bit. Okay. We'll try the slice command. We'll pick our slice command. We'll select our objects here, enter, and we'll say O for object. This is our object. Both sides, I'm going to just pick the bottom, and it'll slice off the top for that. Go back to my top view. Now sometimes though that errors out when we do a slice by object, and what I recommend is to reset your UCS to be perpendicular, or I should say coplanar to the cutting plane. Remember, this circle, some people think that it slices, you know, like a cookie cutter up and down. It doesn't. The circle or even the rectangle will slice in the plane that it was drawn. So quite often I will say, before we draw this circle, I will set my UCS to be, for instance, world. Okay, and then I'll go in and maybe draw a rectangle. Doesn't even have to cut through the object in plan, as long as the slicing plane is there. And then if we go to the front view, okay, move that up. So watch what happens when we try to do the slice here the first time. I'm going to just kind of pan over here a bit. I'm going to go get my my slice command, grab the objects I want to slice, hit enter, O for object, pick on this rectangle, and then say pick on the bottom side, and I'm going to get some weird unexpected result. Okay, I don't have no idea. That's because my UCS is actually not at the same plane this was created. So watch what happens. I'm going to go undo. Back to here. I'm going to leave everything as is, but I'm going to type, watch my crosshairs right now. My X and Y have been, because when you reset these, they reset your UCS, which is your drawing plane. So now I'm going to say UCS world. Okay, and now I'm going to do a slice. I'm going to do the same thing, pick these objects, enter, O for object, pick this as my object, pick the bottom half, or say B for both, and now I've sliced this way, even though this didn't even really touch it. So I have to admit, slicing by object can be quite challenging at times. The main thing is draw the object on one plane, switch to a perpendicular view, and move that plane up and down. And when you do the slice, I recommend resetting your UCS to the plane that this object was, the slicing plane was drawn on. So a couple little extra tips there. And once again, prerequisite, have a look at our previous 3D videos for AutoCAD 2006.